Welcome Cancer to your November 2019 reading. I'm Jenny Florence and welcome to this channel for those of you who are new, and welcome back to anyone who's already part of this amazing community. We are becoming a community. It's wonderful the way you guys are sharing aspects of your journey, the way that you are liking, supporting one another's comments, giving each other feedback and support. It's really beautiful to see. Guys, if you are new to my channel, as I said, I'm Jenny Florence. If you want to know a little bit more about me, do check out the information box below. I give a free private reading to one of my subscribers every month, and I also have a lot of free resources out in the world to kind of help people navigate their journey, particularly from an emotional and psychological perspective. So do check out all of the details that are written below if that's of interest to you. So guys, powerful times. Can't believe we're heading for November already. I mean, by the time you guys listen to this, it may be November. I'm doing this reading on Monday, the 28th of October. It's a new moon in Scorpio and very powerful happenings. We're going to be drawing runes first, but you know, so many things are being brought to the surface that require us to look at them, but looking at them with purpose. We are looking at them because there are things we need to shift or to change or let go of. So it's been a very powerful, it's looking like being an incredibly powerful month, and the readings I've done so far are incredibly powerful. So let's do some runes. Let's flow with this. Okay, our first rune, we have the Rune of Movement. Sometimes this literally means you are moving. It can speak of physical movement, new dwelling places. But it does speak of something that has formed over time or is in a gradual process of movement. It doesn't usually indicate something that is going to happen suddenly. It also speaks of improving or bettering any situation. So it's a lovely energy to have to start this reading with. Also, given that we're currently in the Mercury retrograde shadow, and Mercury will be retrograde on the 31st of October. Guys, this can sometimes mean hiccups, delays, diversions, roadblocks, take extra time for travel, back everything up on your computers and phones and things. But I like to think of Mercury retrograde as an opportunity for reflection. It is often a time when we get to look backwards, stuff from the past surfaces, and there's purpose to it. It allows us to look at what we need to let go of. And that's so relevant to today's new moon in Scorpio. It's an opportunity not just to set intentions as we do with the new moon, but it's not just intentions as to what we wish to see in the future. It's also setting intentions in terms of anything we are needing to clear away, let go of. So very interesting energy to start with. In this rune, I'm just going to place it here for the moment, and we'll shift things around as we draw cards. This is a full reading, so we're going to be drawing a lot of cards. Okay, wow guys, we have two runes that have now come out. The first is the Rune of Fertility and the second of Opening. The Rune of Fertility, it speaks of beginnings, but it's like completion of beginnings. It asks you to, you're drawn to harmonize, you're drawn to balance. It's a rune of huge power. It speaks of fertilizing the ground for your own deliverance. So you are being called to do something this month. There's gradual movement, gradual steady progress, but something needs to arrive at a completion. You are needing to actually do something. Action is required on your part. Okay, now the Rune of Openings speaks of renewed clarity, clear intention. Again, a morning of activities. You're required to do something. There's quite a busyness around this rune, the energy here, but it's like you know where you're going. You know what it is. Something, if you're not sure or you've been shrouded in some kind of fog, When I think of fog, I think of fear, obligation and guilt. Those are the kind of emotions that surround, I think, the kind of fog that we find ourselves in sometimes mentally, psychologically, emotionally. But I'm going to say I think you gain clarity over an issue this month, and it allows you to begin to take actions towards putting something down, laying it to rest, completion of something. It's not a big completion ending. It doesn't have that energy about it. It's the completion of a beginning. So it's the completion of something that was needed in order to continue, possibly on a clearer pathway. We'll draw one more rune. Oh, gorgeous energy. We have the Rune of Joy. Just put our runes out of our way over there. The Rune of Joy is, it's lovely. It's a fruit-bearing rune. I mean, I'm sure the Rune of Joy, it's got lovely energy. Literally, I can almost feel myself smiling as I'm holding it. You come to yourself in some way. It sometimes says that you renounce existing plans or existing goals, and if you do, it's proper to do so. There is new energy, renewed energy, vigour, life, lovely energy. I'm going to say, guys, I think that something has been steadily evolving. It may be for some of you there is literally a house completion or something like that. You move forwards, that completion of beginnings or contracts are signed, but in some way you gain clarity. Maybe you even decide, if you've been looking at property or you've been evaluating on a business deal or you've been working through something within a relationship, you gain the clarity you need this month in order to know where you want to go with something. There's definitely a coming home to yourself, finding clarity, finding direction. But it is quite a busy month, I would say, for you guys. That's what it's looking ahead to being at this moment in time. We're going to draw from this tarot pack first. We'll be drawing a lot of cards. As I said, this is a full reading for the month of November. Well, guys, the Chariot, it's go, go, go. I tell you what, I'm just going to move these runes up here, place them at the top, and then we can start laying out cards and make sure everything is still going to be in camera for you guys as we draw. Everything is go, go, go. Here, there's movement, there's things happening, there's a greater clarity coming. It's interesting because although this rune speaks of steady progress, I think something has been evolving over time, and it is as though some phase in that evolution comes to a completion and you get to move forwards. Interesting given the Mercury retrograde energy, because that often slows things down, but it doesn't appear to be the case with you guys. The Magician, very interesting. Two powerful cards, guys, major arcana cards. The Magician is a card of manifestation. Whatever you have been trying to make happen, it starts to move forwards. It evolves. New energy coming in. Now this, I want to say that maybe somebody comes into your life. They bring you renewed energy or renewed direction. This card sometimes indicates somebody coming into your world. And I think this is you guys. This is your energy around at the moment. You've been trying to process something or make something happen. Remember this rune, the bettering, the improving or the bettering of any situation. Wow, guys, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. I'm going to draw one more card from this pack, and then I'm actually going to use a tarot pack that connects in with the kind of people that are around us, that are in our lives, because I sort of want to say that there's a lot of fire energy coming into your world this month. I don't know if there is a fire sign, if any of you are out there kind of looking for a kind of relationship, whether a fire sign comes into your world, maybe you meet someone, but again, there may be more than one person coming into your world as well. You know, with one there's sort of, this is like adolescent kind of passionate, go-getting energy, but you maybe don't want to take it too seriously. But this is a greater direction. There's clarity here. I think somebody brings some piece of information to you that gives you insight in some way. That's what I'm really hearing. Wow, guys, and we have the Four of Cups, absolutely. Okay, and maybe the person or people that bring you insight, something comes to your awareness this month. I think even that something has been stirring for a while. It's been moving forwards gradually. It's been evolving, for want of a better way of saying it. Something comes to light that gives you clarity, and I think it may come through somebody who is quite fiery or quite passionate, or, as I said, it could be a fire sign. But it comes through... I'm also going to say what emerges is... You know, sometimes people give us information, and I'm going to say inadvertently. This is almost like a card of... I want to sort of say almost like gossip. You know, when people fill you in or prep you for something, and their intentions aren't always entirely honourable. But actually, even though the flavour of the intention isn't very nice or very healthy, it brings something to light that allows you to really see something clearly, or to see someone clearly. That's the kind of flavour of these cards. So I'm actually going to draw from the tarot pack that speak of relationships particularly, and of the kind of people that are in our lives, because I feel as though there is something here that's connected to other people, very definitely to other people, whatever the circumstances are. Whatever the movement of something that's moving forwards, somebody brings you information in some way that allows you, or someone tells you something, or they speak about something. Could even be something they say inadvertently, but you gain clarity this month big time. And that allows you to move forwards. And there is something in your own process of manifestation. You've needed this information. Okay, I'm just going to draw these cards. Okay, so we have 5 of air. Oh, we also have 4 of air. Queen of air. Goodness me. I'm going to draw more. We're going to be drawing 5 of these cards. That's what I'm hearing. This is extraordinary. You know, to have such a concentration of one type of energy. Okay, and we also have 1 of water as well, the Ace of Water. So guys, let's talk through these cards. This is a very powerful flow of energy and a very, very clear message. This is a card of illusion. It's the kind of conflict that all of us inevitably have. It's a human thing that we get caught and tangled between the reality of a situation and our perception of it. You know, this is a card that speaks of a challenge between reality and belief. You know, we all grow up with, I suppose, certain belief systems. We often have beliefs about ourselves and about others that are not necessarily grounded entirely in the real situation. You know, for example, if you have really challenging experiences in childhood, you may tend to walk through life viewing your experiences through a particularly negative lens. You have negative expectations, but that may not actually be how it is. It's the same when we fall in love. We often have very idealized, joyous perceptions of somebody, and again, they will be those things, but they'll be more than that. There'll be a whole package of, you know, a mixed bag of things, because we all are. So this card is asking you to let go of self-deception and to see something through the eyes of honesty. It's a time to move beyond those sort of beliefs and perceptions that aren't really very grounded. They're not really real. We're needing to see something clearly. This is a card of routine and order. It often asks people to create order in their lives. If they're in a rather chaotic place, it asks them to bring order into their lives and structure in order to help to ground themselves. I think in this position, I think this is a card of boundaries. You are being asked to see something clearly and to hold your boundaries. You're needing to be clear and to kind of walk your talk from a position of reality here. The Queen of Air, magical energy. Some people see her energy as a little bit devoid of empathy. Actually, I don't think she's devoid of empathy. She is crystal clear in her thinking. She has an analytical mind. She's able to really process things. She's a head, not heart person, but there are times when if we are going to be real about something, we have to actually see it clearly, and we are confronted with the need to see something extremely clearly. So very powerful energy here. I think something will come to light, will come into your world. I suspect some of you guys will already know that's been in progress for a while, but something's going to emerge. But there is so much purpose and value to this. There is a window of opportunity opening to create some kind of resolution, to see something differently, and to take action accordingly. This is a card of life lessons. The Three of Air, expand your mind. There is a big life lesson being brought to your attention maybe, or, this card speaks of the fact that patterns repeat themselves and continue to repeat themselves until we learn from the experience. We are needing to address something, to see it clearly and to take action accordingly. We then have this wonderful energy of new emotions, the Ace of Water. This is really interesting because having processed something from a sort of a clear analytical perspective, you are actually asked to kind of open your heart and to follow your heart. There's a truth in this card that connects, I think, to the emergence of something coming to light. You are needing to be really real, and then open your heart to someone, speak to somebody. This speaks of new opportunities, new experiences. So it's interesting that we have a card of profound emotionality sitting here, following this sort of almost phase of, it's like an awakening in some way. It's very interesting because the energy today astrologically, new moon in Scorpio, but it is directly opposite Uranus, the great awakener, the planet of sudden changes, of revolution, of bringing stuff up that we need to be aware of. It's got that flavour to it. So very powerful reading for the coming month. Something is definitely emerging and coming to light, and it's going to come to you in, as I said, it may not be in a straightforward way. It's not like, it may not be a direct conversation or a direct communication. It's more likely to come to you indirectly through conversation, but there's purpose to it. There's passion, there's justice, there's a flavour of, as I said, more than one person involved in this, but yeah, very, very interesting. One, I sort of feel like there is more than one person involved, and maybe one person is quite young. I don't mean that in age, I mean young in themselves, and the other has a far greater presence. It's kind of almost like there's a slight competition between someone who's quite a young soul versus perhaps an older soul in some way. But something is coming to light that needs to be processed, worked through. There's very powerful good reason for this, and it creates new openings, new opportunities, a new way of moving forwards. I mean, this is a wonderful rune here, the Rune of Joy. You come to yourself in some way. Very powerful, guys. Let's draw some more cards to see what other energy is around for you this month. Dominion, wonderful. This is control of yourselves. Again, it's connecting back in here to this need to be analytical, to be boundaried. Control of yourself, control of your own emotions. It doesn't mean dismissing your emotions or controlling them in a way that is stifling them. It's about listening to your emotions and using the energy of your emotions to work for you rather than against you. Wow, guys, and we have the Tower. internal changes. This is such a month of big internal shift for you guys. It's like this major lesson that has been brought to your attention in some way. It connects to relationships, it connects to boundaries, it connects to the way in which we, as I said, we sometimes look at life through a particular lens. Some of you are maybe needing to step into a position of greater self-care, boundaries around yourself, not being manoeuvred, not having the wool pulled over your eyes in some way, actually needing to see something with a much greater clarity, because that creates the opportunity to hold your boundaries, to walk a pathway that is more in alignment with kind of like the calling of your soul, really. Okay, guys, we will now draw an astrology card. Okay, 7th house, partners. This is very much connecting in with relationships, guys. It's a very powerful relationship reading. You are definitely needing to address something in relationships. And there is something of this, as I said, it can be an idealization, or it can be, it could be a positive sort of sense of belief, or it could be a challenging sense of belief where we tend to look at things through a negative lens, or we could be looking at somebody in a more idealized way and not really seeing them for who they are. One way or the other, we haven't been seeing something for what it actually is, and we are moving to a space where that emerges, and my goodness me, that's liberating. It allows you to regain control over your own direction, to literally become the sort of the master of you, the driver of your own chariot is what I want to say. You can manifest, if you think about it, the decisions and the actions we take today, they create our tomorrow. This puts you back in the driving seat. You have a much greater awareness. You can take actions. Okay, I'm going to draw from the Art of Manifestation cards, actually. Let's see what is manifesting. Okay, so there's a card of compromise. Compromise may be needed, or you may be compromising too much. We now have a card that again connects into relationships, to have and to hold. We're going to be asked to draw one more. Oh. Okay, and we have a card that says it is safe to relax. I'm going to come back to that one in just a moment. We'll read these first. These cards have very clear messages, so I'm just going to read them to you. The card of compromise. Are you in a situation where you need to make a compromise, or are you compromising too much? This card asks you to review your position and to be sure to find a solution that takes the needs of all parties into account, including yourself. We then have the card to have and to hold. Healthy relationships are formed through love rather than need. It is such a human thing to hold on to others through fear and insecurity, but this dynamic can stifle a relationship's potential to flourish, and it can actually push someone away. Give your relationship the freedom it needs to form a healthy foundation of trust. Very powerful cards connecting into the energy of finding some resolution or some new opportunity within relationship, but the key is the shift that takes place within you. Now this card, you are safe now. This is very interesting, because I would say maybe there has been some defensive behaviour going on. It's safe to relax is a card that speaks of coming out of a period where you've maybe experienced some quite major ordeals. So I will read the message again. You've been through a major ordeal and you've been amazing. You've handled it all. But as a consequence, you've learned to live on high alert. This needs to change. Your mind needs peace and your body needs to relax and repair. This card brings a message. You are safe now. It is okay to relax. I am actually hearing a very clear message attached to this card, and it's to do with the way in which we perceive life and the way in which we build our belief systems. if we have been through any form of challenge, we tend to, it alters our perception. And it means that we develop mechanisms, if you like, management systems within us. We all do it, it's a human thing. But it means we develop management systems that are all about managing the potential for something to go wrong again. Whether that means that we switch ourselves off to seeing people clearly and we idealize them because we want to hold on to hope, or whether we are actually looking at life through a negative lens. One way or the other, it's as a result of something challenging that happened to us. There is an assurance here that you can really look at something for exactly the way that it is and not be afraid of things going wrong. If you see something clearly, it will put you back into a position of empowerment. You can be in your own driving seat, and you are able to then be far more active in co-creating the kind of world you want, the kind of relational dynamics that you want. It's these kind of deep-seated fears, the emotional residue of uncertainty, of difficulty, that cause us to then, ironically enough, sometimes create the very things that we don't want rather than the things that we do want. Again, sometimes it means we compromise too much. Sometimes it means that we allow ourselves to be compromised. So this is the flavour, and it's a powerful month, guys, a very, very powerful month. But really, it's full of vitality, and as the changes emerge, you get to really get back into your own driving seat, and you begin a whole new phase of the potential to manifest the kind of world that you would really, really like to be living in. Very, very powerful reading, guys. We're going to draw one more card as a sort of a final concluding card from the angel pack, from the archangel pack. Okay, lovely. We have the card of compassion. Archangel Zadkiel, soften your heart with respect to this situation and all the people involved, including yourself. Very lovely energy to finish, wonderful energy of compassion. Again, you are being asked to be keeping that analytical clarity, guys. That will then enable you to literally be able to listen to your heart, to follow your heart, to do what's right, to stay on your own pathway, to come home to yourselves. Very, very powerful, guys. So much love to you, and I look forward to seeing you maybe for some of the readings as we travel through the month. I do readings every Sunday for, guidance for the week ahead, and also obviously the big monthlies, and sometimes a few extras thrown in depending on the kind of astrology that's around. Guys, this is beautifully in tune with the Mercury retrograde energy when patterns from the past or aspects of our past that may now be holding us back emerge, and we have an opportunity to gain clarity and to take actions that move us forwards and create entirely new pathways of being. So much love to you guys, so much love.